How's everybody today? It got chilly again here in Ormond. It was 37 this morning, so that was nice. We lit a fire. It was very cozy. So Captain and I have just been hanging around this morning. He's working on a puzzle, and I've been doing a little crocheting and doing some laundry and kind of catching up after June's birthday in Disney World. So I'm going to get back to my grandma story reading. And this one today is called The Tale of the Tiger Slippers. It looks like the illustrations are going to be really pretty again because it's Jan Brett, and the animals are just gorgeous in this. So let's read and find out about what are tiger slippers. I don't have any idea, so let's find out. The Tale of the Tiger Slippers by Jan Brett. I live in a big house my father built, and I love to bound around the garden. My friends are always curious about one thing, though. Why is there a pair of raggedy slippers in that fancy fountain, they ask. This is the story my father tells them. When I was a cub, I lived with my mother under the roots of a banyan tree. We were very poor, and I helped as best I could. Mother saw how sharp thorns and stones hurt my foot pads when I worked, and she made me thick slippers. These slippers will protect and guide you, she said, and there is room to grow. I was looking down at my new slippers when I saw a streak of white in the stream bank. It was silky clay that could be easily molded into shapes. I made bricks from the clay and built my mother a pretty house. When others saw it, they asked, "Could you build me a pretty house from your bricks?" So I did. Years went by, and the slippers seemed to guide my every step. I dug clay, made bricks, and built houses, towers, and bridges all over the land. Soon I had everything I could want, and I built a grand house for my future bride. On my wedding day, a great feast was planned, but as I went to greet my tiger bride, a crocodile poked his snout out of the stream. "Look at those raggedy slippers," he scoffed. "What kind of elegant bridegroom are you with those old slips on your feet?" I looked down at my dependable slippers. They were dirty and worn from hard work, but at the croc's taunts, I slipped them off and let them float away down the stream. Faster and faster my slippers sailed in the current until they reached the village dam and stopped it up. The waters rose, flooding the banks, until an elephant saw the problem. He unplugged the castaway slippers and brought them back to me. A few months later, the tigress and I were settled in our home when word came that the Rhino King would pass by our village. He needed a place to stay, so we readied our finest rooms. A stork, seeing the activity, fastened his beady eyes on my slippers. "Scandal," he croaked. "The Rhino King will be insulted by his host wearing raggedy old slippers." I wanted to put my best foot forward for such a lofty guest, and he was about to arrive. I quickly removed my old slippers and tossed them over the wall. When the last goat in a great herd of goats felt the thump, thump of my slippers falling from the sky, she bolted. Then all of the goats scattered, barging into houses, toppling watermelon carts, and sinking dinghies in their panic. The furious goat herd brought back the slippers and demanded payment for damaged property. In time, we celebrated the birth of our first tiger cub. Animals came from far and wide with best wishes for our new arrival. The mongoose wished him playfulness. The peacock wished for beauty. The rhino for strength, and the elephant for wisdom. The monkey, though, added, "I wish the baby cub's father would never wear junky old slippers." The monkey had a good point. I tried again and again to lose the old slippers, but they always came back. Finally, I sent them by air to my old uncle who lived in a distant village. When my uncle saw the frayed old slippers, worn out by hard work and sewn by his sister, he wept with pride. He packed a few things and set off to see us. Uncle Ali arrived carrying a gift, and inside were the slippers. "I know you will always want to remember how far you have come and the good work you have done when you see these slippers," he said. "How they show the years," he smiled. The next morning, I was in the garden with my son. "I am back where I started from," I said. "What am I going to do with these old slippers?" My cub had an answer. Why not build the slippers a special house of their own? They can be seen and remembered for their place in your life, and you can wear magnificent new ones. So I did. From that day forward, I looked to the future, dreaming of new adventures, and once in a while, I smile fondly at the raggedy old slippers. The end. Hey, so what did you guys think of that book? The description says, Jan Brett's lush, vibrant version of the classic folktale Abu Kassem Slippers is sure to inspire readers to appreciate the hard work that leads to success and happiness. So that's interesting. The lesson in this tale, I think, is to appreciate where you've come from and all the hard work that got you there, but not to dwell on the past, just to appreciate it for what it was and to look forward into the new adventures we're having, which I think is such a really good lesson for our family right now as we are all making changes and having big adventures, right? Or small adventures in Bima's case, because I don't really have any big adventures happening, but just little small things that I'm doing. But with Angelo and Rosemary being in Germany and having that big adventure and all the work that it took their family to get them there, and Lindsay and Colin having a big adventure moving back to Richmond and all of that work, and Brenna and June are also having their own big adventure. June is going to a new school in a week, and that is just amazing. So everyone is doing new things, but that doesn't mean we forget about the old things either, right? We can still look back and remember our good times and know that we'll have them again. They just may look a little bit different. Maybe that's the theme for at least our family this year, is things may look a little different, but we're still here for each other and we still love each other. So just like those slippers, we can remember the past and put that in their place and look forward, right? So I really like that. I'm going to ponder that story a little bit more today. So I love you guys. I hope you are tucked in nice and cozy today, and have a good night.